This week's Jokedealers Inc. Hot 5, Vanesaa Fraction.
Being a comedian, I've always loved being a comedian, but back in the day, I thought I was gonna be a singer for a little while. I really did, because I had formed a singing group with my sisters. Now, this is in the 90s. Everybody was in a singing group in the 90s. My sisters and I, we formed a group. Now, I was 14. I had another sister that was 13. I had another sister that was 15. And then my daddy's girlfriend's daughter, she was in the group. She was 16. And then there was a 25-year-old in the group. We don't even know how she got in the group, but she was a rapper, so we let her stay in the group. So now we're in the neighborhood and we're singing on porches. We at community centers. Like, we are really getting good. And so my daddy found out that we had been singing and was shocked that we had never told him. So he was like, why y'all don't sing for me? Now, my daddy is a retired preacher. He smoked weed now. So he real chill and supportive of his daughters. So he wanted.
Hey, what's up? This is Hank Denson, the joke dealer of Joke Dealers Inc. This is called Joke Dealers Inc. Hot 5. My guest today, I am excited, elated to have the Vanesaa Fraction. How you doing, Vanessa?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
okay,
really
let me
good.
say this. Your background is swagged out. I like it. I don't know what kind of budget you got there. It is definitely not the Joke Dealers Inc. budget, but it's good. It's good luck. Let me ask you, I know you've been doing comedy. I would say this, Vanessa, me being East Coast comedian moving to Atlanta, I would tell you in my book of comedians, and I don't even say like female, but you're in my top 5 female comedians. I have done tours and shows with Caroline Ray, some more, everybody. I will tell you this right off the bat. If anybody has not seen a Vanesaa Fraction show, energy, host, anything she touches, it's this level, okay? And it's a pleasure. And I know people don't put it like this. Just go and watch. Let's say this. How long you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy 19 years.
19, off and on, straight?
2001, pretty much straight.
Okay, what made you start? What was the, I'm gonna be a comedian?
When I was 21, the real reason was I didn't want any woulda, coulda, shouldas in my life.
No regrets.
No regrets. I didn't want to be older saying, I wish I, would have tried this. I could have been great and I should have.
Wow.
I just didn't want to be that way. And it was like a friend of mine, I was carpooling with her. We were working together.
Yeah.
With her, and she wanted me to sing backup. So that was one of those things where I was like, let me go to this open mic and sing backup with her.
Okay.
Yeah, that was awkward. And so when I got off the stage, I was like, man, I just want to be on stage. And she was like, you should be a comedian. And she was like, just come up here next week, do 3 minutes. And, I was like, okay.
And you had that funny then? Like you knew where to go?
I grew up, I'm a preacher's kid, number one.
Oh,
so
PK, okay. Yeah.
I'm used to seeing the dramatics, honey.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing the artwork of, what do you call, knowing people. You know, being in touch with people and being in touch with people's emotions and what they need.
Yeah.
So for me, I've always been a humorous person, and my parents had me around a lot of comedy, and so I always felt that bug inside of me. And so when it was offered to me, I jumped at the chance, and it really turned out to be a great thing.
That's dope. Like, I did not know that story. I had no idea. Let me ask, you're from what city?
Where I started comedy? I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but I started comedy in Chicago. That's where I lived for a long time. Okay,
so what was your first show like? Like your first gig where you were like, coming to the stage, Vanesaa Fraction. What was that?
That one. My first gig was at the Cotton Club in Chicago, Illinois. That kind of thing. It was an open mic, or do you want to know the first, like?
No, let's, I would say not your open mic, because when you already kind of answered it when you told me you're used to the nuances of the performance and exchange of energy and being a PK. What was the first time they were like, yo, we're going to give you 30 minutes and we paying you, and it's your first gig?
My first, because I automatically went to my first theater gig, 30 minutes. That one I know very well. My first theater gig, 30 minutes, was with Guy Torrey and Eddie Griffin.
Wow.
theater in Chicago. That was my first one like that. And I really like to believe I did a great job because I worked.
You said you like to believe.
Yeah, so that was like maybe I'd only been doing comedy a year or so.
A year? And you was
maybe
wow.
Because like I did Comic View. I was doing comedy like 4 months, and I started doing comedy. I did Comic View.
In 4 months? In 4 months you did Comic View.
Yeah, but that's
shut up. Which one?
The one with Bruce in New Orleans.
Wow. So you did that because I did Caliente in Miami, and then I was slated to do the one in St. Louis. I mean, not in St. Louis, in New Orleans. But
New Orleans, right? Yeah, and I can't. It was 2001, so because it was like 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah, it was 2001. And
you weren't scared? You weren't like?
Oh, I was scared and I looked a mess. Like I was wearing some kind of prom gown. I looked a mess. I didn't know what to do. I was brand new to comedy, but I had, right. About
so you were way overdressed.
Oh my God. If you go back, if you want to add that clip in later, I could probably send
Did you have like a bow on your hip and some stockings?
Oh no, it was like some kind of see-through sheer number that went all the way down to my legs, and all the arms were sheer. And whoever
what did your father think? What did the pastor say? Oh, my baby's doing comedy.
Oh, my dad was proud. The funniest story I have about my dad was when I did Def Jam, because Comic View you still can't curse, so it was very PC. And in fact, my first year of comedy, I didn't cuss at all because I was coming from, like I said, a preacher's kid kind of background, and I
did enough fundraisers for the church to know how to do a clean set.
Oh my goodness. And my dad always just said that, when you curse a lot, it's like being lazy. You have a broad vocabulary, so you might as well use it. And so I didn't curse for the first year. But then after that, I was like, man, cursing is fun. And it's a way to really put the exclamation point on some shit. I can really say on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't say that like that.
Yeah.
It puts sauce on it, baby.
Yeah.
And I like the sauce.
Sometimes shit gets you through a lot of stuff. Man.
I love the sauce because it really just puts that emphasis on and makes it colorful, the things that you're trying to say. And so when I did Def Jam, that's what I was most worried about, because I had jokes that were very, very explicit. Explicit. They were informative and smart and funny, but it was vulgar, if you will.
Right, but you were educating the people.
I was educating the people, baby, but it was a little vulgar. And I had a joke about I can say what I want.
Yeah, you can say what
I had a joke about pussy, you know what I'm saying, the kind that I had. But it was if you go watch my Def Jam, very good point to what I was making. So it wasn't,
I believe it.
It wasn't like I was just throwing out
that joke that you do about men. If you ever have to do what a man does and you have to keep that joke right there, man.
See, it's a sex joke, but doesn't it make you think?
It had you thinking. I was like, man, I didn't realize. First of all, I had to realize I was doing that much work.
And pat yourself on the back.
Right. I was like,
look at me. With my dad, my Def Jam, I thought that he would be, he was quite surprised at the things that I was saying, but rest his soul. He was really quiet when he called and said, I just watched your Def Jam. And I was like, well, what'd you think? And he was like, man, you got to excuse me, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you the funniest bitch I ever heard in my life. My God, you tore that shit up.
That's what I'm talking about.
He was so excited. He was like, you were so raw. And then he calmed down and said, but you, he's like, you were just so inspirational and motivational, and you gave people something to
You
lead.
almost made me cry, Vanessa. Don't do that, man. Yeah. Because, I'm a church kid, and, I always fight with that push and pull of, what to say. I always said I would never want to get on the stage and be at any level where the world can see me, and then my parents are not proud. So,
and I felt the same way, but his point is that he kept saying, don't worry about the delivery and don't worry about your journey. Your journey is going to be your journey. He said, some people that are not going to church, and they're going to need to hear what you have to say in the way that you say it.
Right.
My thing is that you've come to me, you basically paid to hear what I have to say, so how dare I not leave you with something.
Stay tuned for part 2 of Jokedealersinc. Vanesaa Fraction's High Five.